When you turn on the microstation, it automatically goes to program mode. In this mode, you can select and play individual sounds like pianos, organs, guitars, etc. These are called programs. You can select different programs using the up and down buttons. The programs are organized into categories to make it easier to find the sound you want. Use the category up and down buttons to select the category. Notice how the LED lights up beside each category name as you step through them. Now use the up and down buttons to select different programs within that category. You can also use the function buttons to quickly access 16 sounds. Let's select the keyboard category. Now 16 keyboard programs can be accessed immediately with the function buttons. When you press the number lock button, abbreviated as numlock, function buttons 15 and 16 are used to move up and down to the next group of 16 programs. Now press the numlock button again to return the function buttons to selecting sounds. Using this method, you can quickly jump to several groups of 16 programs. It's great for performance. The function buttons can also be used as a numeric keypad. Numlock allows you to use buttons 1 through 10 to select the number, and buttons 13 and 14 as clear and enter buttons. Let's say we want to select program number 35. Press numlock. Now press 3, then 5, and then button 14 to enter. There, program 35. Now press numlock again to return the function buttons to their normal state. The microstation has a nice feature that allows you to audition each program. Simply select a program, then press the audition button. The microstation plays a short musical phrase designed to work with that sound. It's an excellent way to hear the musical application of each program. You can even leave it on and step through different programs to audition sounds, one after the other. Every program has an arpeggiator pattern saved with it. Let's select program 02 Arco Strings in the Strings, Brass, Woodwind category. Use the category buttons to select Strings, Brass, Woodwind. Now press numlock, function 2 for the number 2, then function 14 for enter. Keep numlock on for now. Turn the arpeggiator on by pressing the ARP on-off button. We sometimes refer to the arpeggiator as an ARP. Whether the ARP is on or off when a program is selected can be saved with each program. Play a chord. The ARP plays a musical phrase or pattern based on the notes you play on the keyboard. In this example, the ARP is simply stepping through the notes of the chord I am holding. This can be useful in some applications, but the ARP is capable of doing much more complex and musically powerful phrases. This is a polyphonic arpeggiator. This means that as well as stepping through notes one at a time, it can also play notes simultaneously. Use the category buttons to select keyboard. Make sure numlock is still on and press function 4 for the number 4. Then function 14 for enter to access Romance Piano. Turn on the ARP and play a chord. Notice that the phrase has single notes as well as chords. This kind of flexibility is very useful for song creation. For example, the ARP can be used to simulate guitar strumming, which is usually very hard to create with a sequencer. There are hundreds of arpeggiator patterns that can be used for many different musical applications. You can even create your own using the editing software that came with your microstation. Notice that the pattern stops running when I release the keys. If I turn on ARP latch, the pattern keeps running even though I'm not holding down any notes. You may want latch on or sometimes off. It depends on the musical application. The arpeggiator can also play melodic phrases, not just the notes you are playing. Go to the guitar category and select Program 11, 1, 1, then enter. Turn on the ARP and play a single note in the lowest octave. Even though you only played one note, the ARP uses that to play a melodic phrase. Notice that the ARP is only triggered in the lower octave. This allows me to play the rest of the keyboard like this. Now watch this. Use the category buttons to select Drum, Mallet, Hit category. And numerically enter Program 3. Turn on the ARP and play any note. That's right. The arpeggiator can be used to create drum patterns. It's not based on the notes you play. Hitting a note just starts the pattern running. Turn off the ARP now. As I mentioned before, each program is already set up with an ARP pattern. So as you go through the programs, be sure to turn on the arpeggiator to see what surprise is waiting to inspire you. In addition to using the keyboard, the microSTATION lets you control the sound by using the joystick, knobs 1 through 4, and other controllers. These let you modify the tone, pitch, volume, effects, etc. in real time as you play. Although you are changing the sound, don't worry. The changes aren't permanent. The sound will always return to the original state when you select it again. We won't do it here, but it is possible to save some of your changes over the current program or a different program location. Remember, you'll never lose anything. You can reload any factory data you erased. Details about saving edits and reloading factory data are in the operations guide on the accessory disk. Use the category buttons to select Synth. Numlock on, select 44. The joystick moves in 4 directions: left, right, up, and down. Each of the 4 directions can be used to control a different function, such as modulating program or effects parameters. These assignments can be different for every program, but generally, left lowers the pitch, right raises the pitch, up adds vibrato, and down adds filter LFO, sort of a wah-wah effect. Velocity is a measure of how hard you play a note on the keyboard. This can be used to modulate many different aspects of the sound, such as volume, brightness, etc.